Hello again, Packer fans. This is Ralph Mancini from LombardiAv.com, and today's question is, when is it time to throw in the towel on your first round pick? And by that I mean a former first round pick in Damarious Randall. So going back to Sunday night's game against the Falcons, for some unknown reason, Dom Capers decided to put Damarious Randall on the Falcons' number one receiver, Julio Jones, who happens to be probably the best receiver in all of football. And predictably, we saw the results. Damarious Randall got burned twice on plays of 20 plus yards and then another one of 33 yards, I believe it was. And so, and give, Capers credit, he made his adjustments. And then in the second half, we actually got to see the rookie Kevin King play Julio Jones and did quite well in defending him. So that was definitely a positive sign. But at this point, it's like, what do you do with Damarious Randall? Where do you line him up? Is he a starter? Is he a backup? Well, later in the game, we actually saw him try to defend Mohamed Sanu and give up another big play. And while he was playing him in the slot, and I heard Chris Collinsworth on the telecast actually make excuses for Randall, saying, well, he was playing the slot. Hey, Chris, we're talking about somebody who is a converted safety back at Arizona State, played in the middle of the field. That is actually one of his strengths, or supposed to be one of his strengths. So at this point, I mean, we thought we had a number one cornerback on our hands last year, and we saw him continually get burned by, the likes of Stephon Diggs, Marvin Jones, DeAndre Hopkins. But, the excuse was, well, he wasn't healthy. He wasn't healthy all year. Give him a chance. He's young. Okay, well, we gave him a chance. And guess what? And during training camp, a lot of the reporters raved about, how much better or how much improved Randall looked. He was around the ball a lot. He looked a lot sharper. Well, then the lights go on and what? We see the same Damarious Randall that we've seen over the past couple of years. And so what do you do with him at this point? I mean, you can't release him, you can't drop him, because, we're talking about somebody with first-round pedigree, and a GM is not going to be so quick to give up on a former first-round pick, because your first-round picks as a GM, that is part of your legacy. People remember your first-round picks. So if he happens to be a Ryan Leaf, people are going to be talking about it 25 years from now. So what you do with Damarious Randall at this point, and somebody asked me what I would do, is I would try to see what his value is on the market, and I would try to move him for something, whether it be a late round or a mid-round pick, or even maybe like a backup offensive lineman, something we can use either now or in the very near future, because I think that we're going to get more out of Damarious Randall that way than we do keeping him on the roster and putting him out there on the field time after time and watching him, make all of these mental mistakes. He's somebody that, struggles in man-to-man coverage and is not the most physical player in run support either. So once again, if I thought that he can even be an average player, I would stick with him. I would say, let's give him a little more time. But at this point, even that is questionable. The fact that he might even be an average player. So again, if we could find somebody out there, and because he was a first-round pick, there's going to be somebody out there, a GM, a coaching staff, that's going to say, well, if we get our hands on this kid, we could turn him into something, because he had enough athletic ability for some team to make him a first-round pick. So to that I say, have at it. Whatever team it is, whatever market, whatever city, I volunteer to drive Damarious Randall to wherever it is that some team or some coach or some coaching staff is willing to take a chance on this guy and work with him. I think that we have enough corners, enough defensive backs on our team to survive without Damarious Randall. I think we can do just fine without Damarious Randall. Okay, I think Quentin Rollins is a physical player. I've seen him make some improvements this year. I think Lindsey Pipkins is another one, another guy who plays very hard. I think if we put him out there eventually, I think he will improve and develop as well. And then Donatello Brown is an interesting player who's on our practice squad right now. And, he also showed some signs of being a decent player in the preseason. So, and of course, Kevin King, who looks just terrific out there. The guy is fast, he plays fast, he's long, he's tall, he's everything that you want in a cornerback. So, and then you got Devon House. He's been a little slow off the mark, but you know what? He's a veteran. So I'm thinking that he'll come around, he'll adjust, and he'll do better than he has so far. So, but as far as Damarious Randall goes, I am done with this guy. Let's see what we can get, and let's move on. Move on, Ted Thompson. We all make mistakes, okay? You've made mistakes in the past. You're going to make mistakes in the future. Let's own up to our mistakes. I would respect you more if you just admitted that, hey, you know what? I screwed up. Let's try to make something out of this. Let's try to turn Damarious Randall into something we can use, whether it be a draft pick or some type of player, backup player, preferably an offensive lineman, and just take it from there. So for Lombardi Ave, this is Ralph Mancini, and I wish everybody out there a very good day.